so good to see you again. But in addition to saying hi to you, I also wanted to say hello to everybody who's tuning in to listen to this story. Checking in with Agape Costa Rica. Haven't talked to you in quite a while because, to tell you the truth, I couldn't find a DP. And I'm so glad that, Adrian, you chose the story, to hear the story of the shepherd and the heavenly feathers, because a year ago when I came to ask you to shoot that story and you couldn't do it, okay? And then you left, and I tried with 3 other DPs. 3. I even, I'm not kidding, in God's honor, I even flew to Spain to try and shoot this segment about the heavenly feathers, and every single time I went to shoot it, something went wrong. It was a disaster. It was like something fell apart. And now, a year later, almost to the date of when I first asked you, I need to tell you the story and I need to get it on film, and why it didn't happen in all those multiple efforts over the course of a year, now I know why. It's because the story wasn't finished. The story, the magical story, hadn't unfolded, and Spirit, because, oh my God, miracles every day, Spirit didn't want me to tell the story until now. So now I'm ready to tell this story in its entirety, and it's so friggin' off the chart magical. And I am talking right now to anybody out there who's lost someone to the other side. If you've lost a pet, if you've lost your lifelong partner, your soulmate, your husband, your wife, your child, I want this story to inspire you, because I promise it's real, and it makes my heart go bitter. So a year ago, let's just go back there. I wanted to have Adrian, shoot this story about my dog. I told you my dog died, okay? Yep. And so Echo was her name. So it's like, oh my God, my dog died. And yet something had happened with the death that was so miraculous, which is why I wanted to tell you, because it was heavenly. Hence the heavenly feathers. Yep. Okay, so what was the story? So I had Echo for about 6.5 years. I found her when she was that big, in a wood pile in a ferreteria. How do you say ferreteria? Hardware store.
Like a Home Depot.
Home Depot. Okay.
Yeah, like outside in the box.
Outside in the wood pile, there's this little puppy. I'm like, I gotta have her. Okay. Took her home, raised her. At that point, I lived in the middle of the jungle near Montezuma. There was just she never was on a leash ever. Her entire life, never on a leash. She was the most miraculous dog. She never left my side. She came to me with this presence of oh my God, I'm just here to serve. I never had to even say any command to her, teach her anything. She never chewed anything. She was an angel that fell into my arms. This beautiful, full black dog with a little white marking on her chest, and a shepherd, like all black, and I'd never had an all black dog, and I always had white furniture and white floors. I'm thinking, I can't get a black dog, she's going to shed everyone. But no, I took her anyway, and oh my God, she was the best dog ever. So, and again, raised her in the wilderness, in the jungle of Costa Rica, never on a leash, no fences, again, never left my side. Eventually, when it was time to go back and forth to the United States, I simply had her certified as a healing dog. Because why not? Because she would get on the plane and I didn't have to do anything. So we traveled back and forth. A year ago in October, I was scheduled to go back to the United States to see my son Jordan, who was going to school in Colorado. And I was full-time in Costa Rica. I had all this crap in storage in the United States, including my car, okay? And I'm like, I'm going to give my car to my son. My car was in storage in Oregon. He was in Colorado, halfway across the United States.
Okay.
So I'm like, you can have my car. So Echo and I decided we're going to take the voyage, go from Costa Rica, fly to Oregon. I'm going to take my car out of storage, drive it across the United States, give it to my son, and then fly back home. So about 3 days before we're leaving, I'm lying on the bed here in Costa Rica, in Tamarindo, and I'm nose to nose with Echo on the bed, who's never left my side ever in my life. And And believe me, we've been all over the world. Well, kind of. But anyway, nose to nose. And I'm like, Echo, we're going to have like the most magical time. We're going to go to the United States and drive across the United States. And on our way, we're going to visit the national parks. And we're going to go to the Holy Land in Wyoming and Montana. And we're going to go on Indian reservations. And we're going to have a mystical experience. And I really felt that. I felt like we're going to go and like have like meet some like, I don't know, Indian chief, and they're going to do a magical spell on us, and I'm going to get more psychic powers or healing powers, or something magical is going to happen. I could feel it. And then I had a fear. It was really weird. It was like, don't you ever leave me, Echo. Don't you ever leave me. And I remember telling her, I said, I don't know if I ever die or if you ever die first. I don't know. We have to, let's make a pledge. Let's go together. And I told her in that moment after we said, I'm going to have this experience. I said, if we go, let's go together. Now, this sounds really morbid. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I said, maybe we could go really fast, like in a car accident, and we'll die together, and then we'll be angels together and live, and we'll never be separated. Okay. Cut to the United States. Pick up the car in Eugene. Drive it through, hill and dale. We're on day 4, trexing through the United States. Just Echo and I. In Wyoming, listen, Wyoming has the lowest population of any state in the United States. There's like no one in Wyoming.
Nobody.
There's no one in Wyoming.
No, why would you live in Wyoming?
Why would you live in Wyoming?
It's like, come on.
Holy mackerel. So anyway, we're camping. We find a camp spot. The most remote camp spot ever. Okay? And the campsite I pick is the most remote campsite in the remote campsite site. And it's positioned like in a triangle. Our tent is right here, and here's a river, a big river, and another river right there. There's no exit point except right behind me, which was the parking lot, which then, 300 feet to get to the gate, to get to the road. You can't get out, okay? I make a fire. I'm tending the fire. God is my witness. I look at the fire. I've got a little poker, a little stick, tend the fire. And I look at Echo. Okay, Echo, never leave mommy. I don't know why I said that. Don't know why, but I tended the fire. And then I turn to look at the fire, and then I look back, and Echo's gone. Like she's
gone.
Gone. She's like not there. Echo! Nothing. I'm not going to tell you how I looked for her for 48 hours, but she vanished. The next day I went to the pound, the vet, whatever you call that,
looking
society,
for the
Humane Society. Did you find a black and white dog? Blah, 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 blah. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. I'm like, holy mackerel. And I knew that the dog would be more frightened than me because she's never left my side. Like, never, ever, ever. Well, I go back to the campsite. A couple hours later, I get the call. They found her body.
Oh, shit.
But they found her body like 5 miles away. And she'd been hit by a car in an automobile accident. Uh-oh! And I feel really bad for saying like that thing and feeling it, right? Mm-hmm. And then, how did I miss out? Kind of. But it was like, oh my God. And devastation is, I can't even describe to you the pain. Like, So I drove home. I drove the rest of the way to Colorado to give my car to my son without the dog, of course. Oof. Anybody watching this suffering from losing somebody, please read my article on understanding healing from a broken heart. It's a real thing. You can actually die from it. Okay? Go check it out. Anyway, so I drove across the United States, gave the car, just before I gave the car, I got to Colorado. And it's 7 days. 7 days after Echo dies. I'm in a Motel 6. And there's nothing there. There's no other cars. There's no trees. It's just open space. I come outside on the 7th day of her crossing, of her disappearance. And my car was covered with white feathers. Like, seriously covered in white feathers.
A sign.
And in front of the door, the driver door, the open, get in the, and I have photos. Seven, because it's the seventh day, 7 white feathers lined in a row in front of where I step into the car. And just feathers everywhere. And it was amazing. And that was my sign that she was there, right? So, skip a year, okay? And almost to the day of her crossing, I woke up and I remember feeling so, it was so miraculous that the car had been covered with feathers, like on the 7th day. Just amazing. But I forgot another very important detail in this story. And that is that before I came to the United States, like a week before I left, I started finding black feathers everywhere. Like seriously, I would be walking on a trail and there would be a black feather. And but it was not just a black feather, because it was a feather that was stuck up in the ground, like not lying on the ground. It was like a trail marker, and it became so prevalent that I took pictures of it. So I want to share with you. You'll see those pictures.
Okay.
They're crazy because I was like, oh my God, why are these black feathers everywhere? Then I lose Echo, and then white feathers on the 7th day. I'm like, okay, proof of heaven, proof of afterlife. I get it. That's awesome. But you know what? It didn't change the fact that I was mourning her loss. Like that was just the most painful thing in the whole wide world. Then a year later, I wake up one morning and I'm like, I think I'm ready for another dog. Like, I think I'm ready. And I called my girlfriend, who's also a psychic, amazing psychic, Jill Jackson. She's in Mississippi. I called her and I said, Jill, I think I'm ready to get a new Echo. I think I'm ready. She goes, okay, really? Yeah, I think I'm.
It's about time. It's coming.
It's time for a new dog. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a new dog. That same afternoon, swear to God, and we're on the year anniversary of Echo's crossing. Okay, Same afternoon, my neighbors call me and they say, Sally, I'm at the vet. They didn't know Echo, by the way. They didn't know it. My neighbor calls me and says, there's a dog at the vet and it needs a home, and are you ready to adopt a dog? And she includes a picture. And I'm like, oh my God, this, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And funny that you should want to sit up at this time. And it was Stella. And it was like, oh my God. And I called him. I said, yes, I'll take her. Why? Because first of all, she looks exactly like Echo. Like exactly black dog. I named her Stella because she's all black and has a little white spot, which looks like a star in the night sky. But here's the deal. The first thing was that the vet says, oh, she's already been adopted. You can't have her. I had to wait a week. I called the vet. I said, are you sure she's been adopted? They said, yes, I'm sorry, she's gone. I said, well, God obviously doesn't want me to have her. And then a week later, my same neighbor calls me again and says, no. They returned the dog. They didn't want her. She's back again. You can have her. I'm like, I run back. I grab her. I've had her for 2 weeks now. Okay. This is why we couldn't tell the story a year ago, because Echo came back to me. And a dentist, who, by the way, was staying at your hotel here at Barefoot.
Oh, yeah?
And she said, oh, no, she's like 8 months old. So she could be very easily the reincarnation of Echo. Very easily. First of all, she looks exactly like Echo. She's got all of Echo's same mannerisms. It's like, it freaks me.
Same behavior, everything.
Oh, my God. No. Like, exact same dog. And Echo did this one thing very particular when we were waking up in the morning and we were cuddling. She would take her arm like this and she would push on me. Stella does the same thing. It's like the similarities are so remarkable that then that's the magic. That's why, Adrian, I couldn't shoot with you a year ago, because the story,
the story wasn't done yet. It was still going.
It said like, no, your film is ruined, or like, what?
That's the universe there.
The film is ruined? What do you mean? But it's like, and then now it all makes sense, and magically, here you are again, and we're ready to shoot. Do you see? Do you understand the magic? Okay, if there's anybody who doesn't get this, you need to call me for a private session. But anyway, I just want to prove to you, in my own experience, that there is everlasting life, that your pets are also included in the beautiful story, that they can talk to you on the afterlife, and they can reincarnate. So, love to you all, people. Agape, Costa Rica. Pura vida.
All right.